Welcome to the Assist Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Schwartz, and joining me today is my very special sibling, Max Schwartz. Max, how are you doing today?
I'm quite tired today, but I'm thriving.
You're quite tired. Do you not sleep well?
I've been staying up late a lot recently playing Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto, eh? So is that your favorite game nowadays?
Yes.
It's a little crazy how that game's lasted so long, hasn't it?
They just keep pumping out new content.
Yeah, I know. It's insane. It's a great game. I've actually gotten back into it, as you know, recently too. So it's a lot of fun.
It is.
Yeah. Are you a big gamer?
I'd say I'm more of a casual gamer.
You used to be a lot. You used to play a lot of Call of Duty.
Yeah. Yeah, we all know how that turned out.
Yeah, you didn't have very good control over your anger during those times.
Yeah.
All right, well, Max, welcome to the show. What's the thing on your mind? What do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about my flying operations.
Okay, yes. So for people that don't know, Max is a student of the airplane. He is studying aviation. You go up and you go fly in the air.
Yes, I do.
Which is pretty crazy. How many hours have you flown?
30.7.
30.7, okay. More than 30 hours in the air. Which is kind of terrifying to think about. People just think, oh, airplane. But it's pretty scary when you're at the controls, I imagine.
That's what you think at the beginning, but then once you know the ways of flying, then it really just becomes routine.
Okay, so other than just regular talk where I could talk to you about aviation, stuff like that, first of all, career goals. What do you want to do? Do you want to go into the military? Do you want to be a commercial pilot for United? What do you want to do here?
I want to go down the commercial pilot route or cargo route.
You don't want to be a private plane person for some rich billionaire?
I mean, that's towards the bottom of the list, but I'd rather be if you gave me an option between corporate and military, I'm going to go corporate.
Okay. Is there a airline everybody should be flying? Do you have a preference for airlines, how they treat their workers?
Well, I'm going to try to avoid Allegiant Air. For those of you who don't know who Allegiant Air are, they are a discount airline, and they've been quite controversial in the media because of their safety concerns. However, I have not heard any more safety concerns recently because they phased out their older McDonnell Douglas MD-88 aircraft.
Oh, you know the exact model?
Yes, because those were the aircraft that were causing them the problems that they were facing.
Okay. Yeah, they're like a really small kind of airplane. Or the really small airliner, aren't they? Even Frontier's a budget airline, but even Allegiant's even smaller than them.
Yeah.
All right, so here's a thoughtful question for you that I thought of before we were going to do this. I actually had this prepared in my mind. Are you ready? So aviation, it's a very cool thing. It's a very different thing than people your age. You are about to be a senior in high school. You don't usually hear about people being pilots and stuff like that at your age or wanting to be. How is that, being a student with that? Is it kind of a cool thing? People see it as you being unique? Is it kind of weird trying to explain it? Because when you're going through and you're talking, someone's like, oh, I want to be an engineer, I want to be a doctor. And then you're like, I want to be a pilot. And everyone's like, interesting. What do you mean? I feel like some people don't understand the complexity of it. So how do you manage all that?
Well, sometimes people will come up to me and ask me things about flying, hey, can you come and take me up soon when you get your license?
Okay.
And stuff. But
kind of joking questions almost.
Yeah, it's hard to relate anything about flying to especially my classmates because they don't understand everything that I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very complex thing.
Yeah, for sure.
It is not easy. People always say that if you can drive a car, you can fly an airplane. I don't necessarily believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that they're trying to brainwash you.
Okay, that's interesting. So, what's a big challenge you've seen trying to get into this? I know you do a lot of stuff on the side. For instance, a lot of your stuff you have to do for your private license. You're getting ready to enter aviation school in the 4-year degree next year, not this year, but next year.
Yes.
So, like, what's a big challenge that you've been faced with that's kind of, since this career is out of the ordinary, it's not a clear track. What's a big challenge you've come across with this so far in your process?
Probably all the stuff that I have to learn, because with the private pilot license, you need to take a written test, which is 60 questions, which doesn't sound that bad, but then you have to realize that they pull 60 questions from a bank of like 730 questions.
Yeah, so it's like under 10%.
Yeah, and you have to memorize all of those questions, and it's a lot of stuff for me to remember, because like I've done stuff like that for school, but I've never done this amount of memorization before.
Definitely, yeah. I see you studying all the time, working on that stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty intense. So you want to be a pilot, you want to do all this stuff. Can I correctly then surmise that you would like to travel?
Yes, okay. Yes.
Where have you been so far?
I've kind of been disappointing when it comes to travel, because I'm so busy with my life that I don't have time to travel much. But I'll definitely say my most common destination I go to is Orlando.
Do you like Orlando?
Oh my God, I love it.
It's where I go to school. It's a beautiful city.
Yeah, I know.
Is there a place, let's do two, is there a place in the U.S. and non-U.S. you most want to go to? What's the number one on your list when you have the money you'll be able to go to, that you want to really go to?
I guess you could say the Mecca U.S. airport that I want to go to is Los Angeles, because it's probably the most iconic.
So I don't even mean like airport, I mean just city in general.
Probably like L.A.
Still L.A.?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never been there.
And then for my out of U.S., aka international, I probably want to go to Dubai.
Dubai? The Middle East?
Yeah.
Dubai's pretty crazy, I've heard.
Yeah, they're really excellent with technology.
Yeah, it's like at the forefront with all their oil money. Like they can do whatever they want,
Ugh.
which is insane.
Oil.
You don't like oil?
No.
Past couple of months, probably since about the beginning of the year, you've gotten into the energy conservation, climate change, prevention bandwagon.
Yeah.
Well, what was the big thing behind that?
Well, once I realized that this issue was happening, and like once I started reading all these terrifying articles about the end of the world, this is going to happen in X amount of years, I was just like, oh my God, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
All right, we're going with the F-bomb. You know our parents listen to this, right?
But that's exactly what I thought, though.
Okay, all right, that's true. All right, see that it's true. That's a true understanding. Okay, keep going.
That's literally what came out of my head.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the heck am I supposed to do about this?
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, the last time, I specifically remember the last time I caught myself reading stuff that I shouldn't have, and I started questioning it. I was like, wait a minute. This seems too good to be true. Now, let me disclaim this. This does not mean that I am denying the issue. There is a difference between finding out the truth versus believing stuff that is heavily exaggerated.
Yeah.
Sensationalized. I can't speak today.
Yeah. So you really came up with your first bout against pretty slanted stuff, pretty, biased news things. Especially, I agree with you. I think climate change is happening. It's real. But I also think it's very hard to say.
Yeah.
I read a book recently. It's forgot the name of it, but it's by Nate Silver, a very famous statistician. He's a big guy behind the website 538. That's him. He's talking about predictions, and a lot of people struggle with some prediction because you're extrapolating. We're seeing these temperature increases, but we don't know really where those can go because we're going out of the data set. So that's why anytime I see anything that says in this amount of years, like it's like 2040. Or something like that will be
2050. 2050 and 2030 are pretty popular.
Okay, but it's like you can't really see that, and I think already we're doing things that are getting better. I know, despite the man in office right now talking about clean coal, and such, which doesn't exist. But in general, we're working on the decreasing CO2 in the atmosphere. We're doing a good job with that, I believe. Obviously, around the house, you have really increased the Schwartz recycling program.
Yes, I have.
So stuff like that, and I think just being more conscious. I mean, metal straws are cool.
And let me also mention something about that I've done too that I want to start spreading around. So I was reading on an interesting article about how this search engine called Ecosia is...
How do you spell that?
Ecosia.
Okay.
And so what the whole goal of this search engine is that for about every 45 searches or so, a tree gets planted.
Every 45 searches? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because that's like the amount of searches that you need. And what they do with that is that they have like around 20 reforestation projects around the world.
Yeah.
And this month for me has actually been a record-breaking month. I've had over 1,000 searches, which is about 22 trees.
Wow. So also that's an ad, Ecosia. We would like you to pay for that spot. Here listening to our listeners, that'd be really nice. Oh, that's great. So do you not use Google or Yahoo anymore? You just use that? Is that like your homepage?
I mean, on my laptop I use Ecosia, but like I don't use it on my phone.
You can't really do it on your phone.
They do have a mobile app if you want to use that instead. By all means, go ahead. But I don't use it because I don't really search much on my phone.
Yeah.
Unless I'm looking up failed climate predictions, which are absolutely hilarious.
It can be pretty funny. So I think you kind of hit on one big thing is a lot of the stuff we see now, we're so desensitized to negative news.
Yes.
Around. And I mean, negative is a very broad term for a lot of people. It's a very subjective term, I think, for people. But in general, just, I mean, if you were to read every article that gets published nowadays, you know, there's...
you would get heavy anxiety.
Certainly, yeah. You have a lot of anxiety. And also, I think it's different because, you know, in the 1970s, you could have a newspaper, but the newspaper would only print out certain stuff. If there's something going on in Somalia or the recent civil war in Sudan, for instance.
Yeah, I saw a lot of that.
Yesterday, I saw something that there was a shooting at a festival.
I saw that when I was going through YouTube today.
Yeah, like you just see all this stuff on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, we have the technology and it's great because if something happens, like you're able to know about it. But also, you know, we're taking in so much information now.
Yeah.
We're almost taking in too much. A lot of it can not be beneficial to our health.
Yeah. I mean, I'm personally against these big oil companies.
Yeah.
But then I also have to bring myself back into reality because there's nothing I can really do. Mm-hmm. But then I also have to keep things in perspective, such as weather patterns, because climate change is the changing of weather patterns over a long period of time.
Correct.
The thing is, you really can't control the weather.
Yeah, you can't control the weather, so...
Like, you can't control when heat waves are going to happen or cold spouts, tornadoes.
I think weather in the long run is a consequence of climate, though. But weather and climate are different things. I think that's a good point. Like when I think I saw it over the winter, or maybe it was the last winter, I can't remember, when Trump tweeted, talking about the record lows, record snowfall in certain places of the country. And it's just like, that's weather. Whereas climate is the change. Over a longer period of time, where weather is just what you're experiencing that day. I think it's an important distinction because you can have cold weather and still have global warming. Yeah. Those two things are not mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
And I think some people, you know, just look up, they see snow, and they check off their good deed for the day, and they're like, we're fine. But in reality, we're getting better, but we still have to continually work to that goal. Yeah, we cannot rest right now.
I have seen some pretty interesting articles that have gotten me very excited. There's 3 things that I want to mention.
All right.
The first one came while I was scrolling through Facebook. Mm-hmm. Someone shared about how, like, I don't remember what, I think it might have been China or something.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not entirely...
You're talking about the reforestation plans or whatever? The big forest?
No.
Okay, I thought China was doing that.
I'm getting that. They are doing that, but that's not the thing I want to talk about.
Oh, okay.
So what they're doing is that they're making this solar panel farm that sucks up carbon dioxide, and they're making it into, like, methanol for fuel.
Methanol, okay.
And then my second thing I want to mention about is Robert Downey Jr., who plays Tony Stark in the MCU.
Rest in peace.
Spoiler. Talk about spoiler alert.
Dude, it's been 4 months.
Okay.
No, it hasn't. It's been like 3 months. If you haven't seen that movie by now, or whatever this is recording, we're recording this July 29th. It's already beaten Avatar. If you haven't seen Endgame by now or don't know that he's deceased.
Yeah.
Even Mom knows that she hasn't seen the movie.
Let me get back to my thing. Okay. So anyway, so what Robert Downey Jr. is doing is he's making this foundation, which is using nanotechnology and robots to help clean up the environment.
Yep.
I don't know, because the article didn't mention like what specific areas, but my mind could infer that like he might have been talking about plastic pollution.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine. There's been I looked into nanotechnology is fascinating. Have you ever looked into it?
No, I have not.
So nanotech is a big deal, and it's, as we get smaller and smaller with technology, it's been a big thing, kind of looking for a lot of different things. So for instance, what he's talking about is, I would assume that there's an idea that I read a research paper on this actually in high school. It's a nano robot. And what it is, it's like imagine a robot, right? Just a little insect-like robot.
Yeah.
Now imagine that to be smaller. Now you can't see it. About the size of a cell. Okay.
That's incredible.
So the first thing that I looked into it for was for medicine, because if you take something like that and you can program it to target, let's say, cancer cells, wipe out cancer. But obviously there's some issues. Basically what would happen is the robot would have some kind of arms. It would take in the cell, have a chamber that would destroy the cell, kind of like a lysozyme. For anyone that is a biology person, what a lysozyme does is it takes in toxic things, such as a virus, brings it into the cell, basically, quote from my immunology professor this past semester, nukes it with a lot of reactive species, and then it destroys it and it releases it. So something like that. What my guess is, if you're going to use nanotech for pollution, would be in the ocean, you release these, once again, smaller than a cell kind of thing for microplastics.
Yeah, that'd
be my guess.
That's what I was gonna say.
And you could it could have a chamber to destroy microplastics.
Yeah.
So that's part of the. I guess
yeah.
Once again, like you said, you didn't see anything about the knowing. That would be my guess.
They didn't really like come out and say it, but
yeah.
And then the last thing I want to say is that article that came out on both of the news sources I look at, saying that mass reforestation has mind-blowing potential to combat climate change.
It does. It really does.
So these statistics will shock you.
Okay.
Because, like, if we used all the areas that are not being used for agricultural or just not being used by people in general, and if we reforested all of that, we could remove 68% of all carbon emissions we've ever put into the atmosphere.
Yeah, so that's almost 3/4. That's a lot.
Yeah, when I saw that, like, I was sort of in shock. I was like, wait, what? And I had to read it again. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's a lot. So, you kind of mentioned it a little bit. Here's one thing that I am kind of not really decided on, I guess, or I think I have rationale, and you can tell me more because you look at this stuff. So, you hear about how, like cows and stuff like that, like meat contributes to a bad environment.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I don't think it's so much that the cows release methane, whatever like that. I think
it's because of the land that they use.
Yeah, so my understanding is that it's bad because the land used for grazing, for cows, chickens, whatever, is very inefficient. Yes. Which makes sense if you think about it. You just have a giant land.
Yeah.
And that people, won't eat meat because, and people don't eat meat for a variety of reasons. So I'm not trying
for health problems. Like for me, I try to stay away from beef just because there's heart disease in my family.
Our family, we are of the same family. Don't forget.
You're actually adopted.
That's not even factual. But my point is that if we used it for something else, like some other kind of energy-producing thing, it would be much more efficient. It'd be better for us. And I get that view, and that makes sense. Here's my problem. Okay, you have the whole thing. It's like when people are like, "Well, if I don't buy a burger, someone else will." I think that's stupid too. Because it's a stupid reason to not be vegan.
Because then you might as well just buy the burger then, because one person doesn't eat meat, it isn't going to mean crap.
Well, no, I'm saying it does. If someone doesn't eat meat, that's important. That's important for you. First of all, if you believe you shouldn't eat meat, and you don't, even though it's one McDonald's hamburger, that's like $3 for their bottom line, that's still important. It's important for you personally, and possibly important for that store. So shut up about that. It is important. Second of all, though, if you're going to do that, if you're not going to eat meat just because of that, or you're eating meat just because you think someone else is going to buy it, my whole thing is if you're doing that, and let's say, okay, you're like, let's say, okay, you know what? It is very inefficient for me to eat cows because cows are a very inefficient producer of energy, whatever. So then if, let's say there's a movement for that, right? Okay. Which I guess there kind of is right now. So here's my problem, right? You take away the cows. No one is saying, okay, we're just going to stop eating meat, and then it's just whatever, that lands there. If there is a movement that was, okay, we're going to take farms, we're going to take livestock, we're going to take cow land, pastures, whatever, and we're going to make them into efficient energy producing things, I'd be down for that. That's great. But no one's saying that. They're saying cows are inefficient. And then there's not the second step. There's no movement, no grassroots movement, no economic thing that's going like, all right, we're not eating meat and we're going to replace the meat with energy. And that's different. That's different from just saying we're not going to eat meat. I'm saying like the land. You're looking at me funny. Oh. I'm saying replacing the land that the cows are on to like have solar panels or shit. I know solar panels aren't the most efficient thing ever.
I mean, they're certainly more efficient than coal.
Exactly. So that's my thing. It's like unless you are going to directly replace the land, that's not helpful. Do you get what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, you just want to make more efficient use of the land.
Yeah, but like no one's doing that though. At least that I've heard of.
You never know.
So
you never know.
That's true.
Because even my good news sources don't even cover all the good news.
Yeah. So what? We can wrap this up. I want to talk about a couple other things. What, in your experience, going through all this, becoming more aware about all this stuff, kind of, don't take this the wrong way, coming out of your shell a bit. You were a 15-year-old, 16-year-old that was kind of, like most 15, 16-year-olds in small towns in Ohio are. You're in your own world, you're doing your own thing, you're worried about this and that, but now you're looking at the world with a more global understanding. Yeah, hit you like a truck. What is something that you would give advice, like a piece of advice to other people who are kind of starting to look at the world as a bigger place and kind of trying to understand where all this is fitting in?
You have to balance the amount of media that you ingest, because if you read too much negative media, not just about the climate or global warming, just in general.
Yeah.
Because I know the news is very negative, and I'm very despising of my dad because he watches the media so much.
Oh, despising of the father. They watch ABC. ABC's not bad.
But still, it can still be negative.
It's better than Fox News. Well, sometimes there's just negative stories.
Don't even mention Fox News. Get that conservative crap out of here.
Damn.
I also don't like CNN, and in fact, my nickname for it is Crap News Network.
Where'd you get that one from?
I came up with it myself.
Oh, did you? I'm sure you did. I think ABC's tolerable. I don't watch the news in general, but
I mean, so I have my two good news sources, and then I trust my local ABC news station, aka News 5.
There we go.
I always watch the weather forecasts, and I have no hard feelings about it because they just say everything just straight up. They're like, okay, here's what's happening. There's like a cold front moving through.
I would hope you didn't dislike the weather forecast. That'd be kind of an issue if you're like, the weather forecast isn't good.
Well, I complain about the weather a lot too, especially when I'm flying.
Well, yeah, that's different though than being like, this forecast is shit. These people don't understand what they're talking about. There's no rain outside.
Dude, Mark Johnson follows me on Instagram.
That's pretty cool. Like Mark Johnson. Mark Johnson's an Ohio legend for people that don't know. Anyway, okay. There you go. I think that's a good tip. Last couple things here. We're at like 24 minutes right now.
Exactly.
That's right. Last couple things. I want to talk to you once we got the big hitter out of the way. Michigan football. We're about a month.
Oh, God.
From college football. We're both gearing up for college football. We're looking for your preview magazine. There's a lot of positive hype about Michigan right now. And I can see your face is already in your hands. We are still a month from the season. You are already very sad. For people that don't know, we are from Michigan. Max, I'm a bigger Michigan fan than Max is. Max roots for Michigan State too. But I mean,
and UCF.
Yeah, and UCF. We are sick of losing to Ohio State every year of consequence. And Max is just laughing. I don't know if you can hear. And we're just tired of this and these. Last year this happened too. We were favored by 7 points, and
Dude, we got
Michigan got their ass kicked. So, how are you feeling right now? What's your warm? We have a tough schedule. Playing Notre Dame at home. Michigan. I guess I shouldn't say we. I go to UCF. Michigan's playing at home to Notre Dame. Ohio State's at home. I believe they have to go to both Michigan State and Penn State.
Honestly, I don't even know.
I don't think they have to play Wisconsin.
I don't.
Did you see their non-conference schedule though? They have to play Middle Tennessee and Army. Like, what the hell's that? Those aren't easy games. Those aren't cupcakes.
Oh well, I mean, the defense is certainly going to be good once again under Don Brown. I really like what he did with the defense last year.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's really good, except for the Ohio State game.
Well, yeah, and I also like Shea Patterson. And who's the other quarterback from Michigan? There's another quarterback that's like decently good.
What, did he play last year?
I don't know. I think he's his backup.
Oh, McCaffrey?
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey's brother, Dylan McCaffrey?
Yeah. Yeah, I really like the quarterback situation we got. And then we also have another stellar recruiting class this year, too.
Yeah, Harbaugh's been good with that.
I mean, because last year we have incoming freshman Daxton Hill, who's a 5-star safety.
Oh, wow. You got the recruiting guys.
Dude, I look at recruiting a lot.
You're a big recruiting guy.
Yeah.
Did UCF have a good class?
Not as good as Michigan.
Well, yeah, no shit. We're never going to have a recruiting class because it's Michigan.
I mean, but
we're still a group of 5 school.
I don't like it when all these experts say that Michigan will beat Ohio State this year because I'm like, crap, here we go again.
Yeah, it seems like they're just trying to get the expectations up. What about the Lions?
I think people are sleeping on the Lions.
Do you think the Lions are going to be good?
They're going to be better than last year.
Last year they went 6-10?
Yes.
Okay.
I think they either go 7-9 or 8-8 or 9-7.
So you don't think we're going to be in the playoffs?
Probably not.
Okay.
But you never know. It's very hard to predict the future, especially in sports.
That's deep.
And I really like all the accusations the Lions made in the offseason with...
accusations or acquisitions?
Acquisitions.
No. Well, we're going to practice acquisitions.
Acquisitions.
Okay,
whatever. I like the fact that...
I'm leaving that in.
I hate you. I like the fact that the Lions re-signed Damon Harrison, acquired Trey Flowers, and a couple days ago got Mike Daniels from the Packers.
I know, they keep loading up the defensive line. We're just going to murder Aaron Rodgers, it seems like.
So it seems like we've gotten a good rotation, especially since Ziggy Ansah went to the Seahawks.
Yeah. We should have signed Sue again. He is so fun.
Oh my god.
It's like Suarez for Barcelona. He's an asshole, but he's your asshole.
Oh my god.
You get to root for him every week.
I also like the fact that they cut Theo Riddick because then it opens up the door for Kerryon Johnson.
Jeez, Max, you're like, I love that this guy lost his job. It's amazing. What an asshole.
And then I also like the acquiring of Danny Amendola.
There we go. That was a good job.
Because then we have Marvin Jones, Kenny Galladay.
I think Galladay's good. I like Galladay a lot.
And then Danny Amendola. Like, I like it.
Yeah,
like,
that's solid.
Because the thing is that Matt Stafford's a good quarterback. It's just that he doesn't have any weapons.
That's not true.
Well, he didn't have any good weapons.
We had Marvin Jones last year and Galladay. That's not true. I think the running game's always been the issue. Maybe that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Running game's always been an issue. All right. Well, that was Detroit, Michigan sports talk with Max.
What about the Tigers? Oh, wait, yeah, they're poop.
Don't worry. The Tigers are in last place. I don't think we're going to have to worry about the Tigers for a long time, Maxwell. A long time. Indians are going to probably make the playoffs, though. Good for the Indians.
Wah, wah.
You don't care about Cleveland that much?
No, I hate Cleveland.
You hate Cleveland?
The only things I like about Cleveland are their airport.
Why do you hate Cleveland so much? I don't dislike Cleveland, per se. I like Detroit way more.
I have a resentment for Ohio.
Why? All of Ohio. Not just... Why? Because of Ohio State?
In that I really don't have a lot of friends.
You don't have a lot of friends, so you blame it on the state rather than...
I don't like a lot of people, Zach. You know that.
But you blame it on the state rather than your communication skills.
Whatever.
Okay.
I don't care.
All right, fair enough. That's why we hate Cleveland with Max. We're going to just keep naming these segments that randomly happen. Okay. What else you got to talk about? You got anything to plug? You doing anything cool? Senior year of high school. What are you most excited for?
Graduating.
Okay, you're excited to be done. When's graduation?
June 1st. Mark your calendars, ladies and gents.
Oh, wow, okay. Am I going to get invited to your graduation? You get like 8 tickets.
Yeah, if you're home.
Do you still have I will be home. Do you still have valedictorian?
Honestly, I don't even care about that because I know I'm not going to get it.
No, I know. I'm just asking as a general thing.
Zach, I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, you don't pay attention to
I don't know, and I don't care.
You don't pay attention to the rules
I go to a
surrounding your
freaking
class.
crowded, overcrowded, and outdated freaking high school. Gosh, screw Ridgeville.
Oh my god! Wow, you just have no thankfulness for anything.
No, I don't.
Do you ever think that you wouldn't be who you were without the high school? Do you ever think about that? If we weren't here, you wouldn't be who you are?
Yeah.
Do you have any thankfulness for that? Or do you just hate yourself?
I guess for making me the person who I am.
Uh-huh.
And then obviously the CCP courses.
Oh, the community college program that you're doing.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I have not gone to an actual classroom for a college class yet.
That's good.
Everything I've taken has been online, except for one class.
Do you have a favorite college class so far? You're just trying to get prereqs out of the way, right? You're not doing anything.
Yeah, gen eds, get all that crap out of the way.
What are your college options?
So I'm considering the University of Bowling Green and Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University.
Isn't it Bowling Green State University?
Whatever.
So you should probably work on getting your university name right first. Before you actually go there.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Maybe.
Okay, so you got 2 schools?
Yeah.
Okay. And both have pretty good aviation programs, correct? Cool. A lot of friends at Bowling Green. Friends of the program, Kyle Milner.
Some.
No, I'm saying I do. Anything else you want to share with the people?
No.
Do you have anything to plug? Any YouTube videos? You doing anything cool? You do any content? You don't, do you?
No.
Okay, cool. Did you have fun?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Do you want to I don't know what this is gonna be so mean. Do you want to explain to the people why you look like the same person? You have the same face that John Travolta does with Botox in the FX OJ series. If anyone's seen the OJ trial, it's from what, 3 years ago? It's from 3 years ago. It's on Netflix now. I just finished it, so that's why I'm bringing it up now. There's a face, John Travolta with Botox. His resting face, especially whenever Johnny Cochran starts yelling at him. You guys know what I'm talking about. It looks just like Max does 80% of the time as well. Whenever I just say, he's doing it right now, actually. For people who I know you can't see, we don't do YouTube for this. That's a good idea. I should try that. But yeah, Max has that face. So I just want to know, can you explain to anyone anything about how normal Max, looks like John Travolta with Botox? Do you have any defense of yourself?
No.
Okay. Do you have any explanation why?
That's just the way I am.
Do you like John Travolta? Do you even know who John Travolta is?
Yes.
Are you sure? If I showed you a picture of John Travolta right now without Botox,
yes, I would.
You would know who he is.
I would recognize him. Let's do it right now. Let's test it out.
Okay. I'm gonna pull up a random man.
I hate you.
No, it's not. No, if I pull up a picture of him, then you know, because I'm showing you a picture of John Travolta. It's not really helpful.
Then what's the point of you saying
We'll
that?
do it later. We'll do a YouTube special of it.
You're an idiot.
You're the one that looks like John Travolta with Botox.
And you have blonde hair with glasses.
And what's your point? That makes me look good.
Ass.
Who?
Thor.
If you're telling me I look like Chris Hemsworth, that is a victory on all levels. Chris Hemsworth is one of the hottest men in the country. Alas, I do not look like Chris Hemsworth.
I was always saying that because you have blonde hair, so you're like Thor, and I have dark hair, so I'm like Loki.
Yeah, we went over this. Do you have a favorite Marvel character? We can end on this.
Does it have to be from MCU?
No.
I like Deadpool.
You like Deadpool? Why do you like Deadpool?
Because he's hilarious, and he gets shit done.
He gets shit done. Like his missions, you're saying?
Yeah, he always gets his guy.
He always gets his guy. You mean stabs him through the heart?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Are you excited for... Go ahead.
And he's invincible.
It's true. Yeah, you can't really die. Well, he tried to blow himself up that one time, and he... So are you excited for Deadpool to join the Marvel Universe or no? Because he's not very, like, Marvel Cinematic Universe-y.
How would he fit in?
I mean, he's a big friend of, like, Spider-Man's. Like, him and Spider-Man have fun times in the comics.
Oh, that would be a nice crossover.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't see Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, like, having it, like, just being in the same movie as the Avengers. Like,
Well, I don't think he would be with the Avengers. I think that's part of it. Like, he'd almost be, like, on the side, but he'd be, like, involved. Like, he might run into, like, Professor X or something like that.
yeah, I much rather see him with the X-Men.
Well, yeah. But, like, he can be, like, his own thing, and, like, he can still have his R-rated movies. I mean, they're getting the horror movies now, so who knows? Doctor Strange 2 is going to be a horror movie.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sounds terrifying.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. My new favorite hero since Tony, R.I.P. We should see how many shows I can mention that straight. I know Thorne and I talked about it. Tony, R.I.P.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Max, thanks for coming on. This was fun. Probably do another one in a couple months, right? We'll get, like, midway through the Detroit seasons. See how bad we're doing. Can catch up on some other news.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for coming on, brother.
Anytime.
Thank you for listening to the Assist Podcast. If you like the show, go drop a 5-star rating. That really helps us keep the show going. If you want to stay updated with all the podcast episodes, hit the subscribe button, and also go follow our Twitter, which is @assist_podcast, and our Instagram, which is now the Assist Podcast. And you can write any emails, any suggestions you have to theassistpod@yahoo.com, and we'll see you next week.